Selling a home is a huge milestone for anyone. When we look at the robust resale market, it is easy to see a headline figure, say an HDB flat selling for $600,000, and think, wow, confirm what? But if you are planning for your next steps, it is essential to look closely at the math. In Singapore's structured housing system, the money from your flat sale does not just slide directly into your personal bank account. So in this video, let's break down where that money actually goes and exactly how much hard cash you will be able to left holding at the end. First of all, let's talk about the great split between cash versus CPF. The single most important concept to understand when selling your HDB flat is that your net proceeds, or what is left over after paying off your outstanding home loan, are split into two very different parts, cash and CPF. Many sellers make the mistake of calculating their potential cash as if selling price minus outstanding loan would be your cash. But in reality, the actual cash you will receive is often lower than that initial estimate. Why? Because of a protective mechanism built into our social security system, which is the CPF property refund. So indeed, it's a big deduction if you need to refund your CPF. When you buy a flat, the government allows you to use your CPF ordinary account savings to fund your down payment, legal fees, and monthly mortgage payments. However, because CPF is fundamentally designed to support your long-term retirement, the system requires that when you sell the property, you must pay back your own CPF account. This ensures your retirement nest egg remains intact. You have to refund two things into your CPF OA. Number one is the principal, which is every single dollar you took out of your CPF for the flat. And then number two is the accrued interest. This is basically the interest per year that those dollars would have earned if they had just stayed sitting in your CPF account instead of being used for housing. Accrued interest is what catches most people off guard. It compounds every year. If you have lived in your flat for 5 to 10 years and use a large amount of CPF to pay it off, the accrued interest alone can add up to tens of thousands of dollars. This money is not a fee and it's not lost. It goes right back into your personal CPF OA. You can absolutely use it again to buy your next home. But because it flows into your CPF and not your bank account, it cannot be spent on other things such as renovations, travel, furniture, car down payments, etc. Now, let's discuss about housing grants. If you receive CPF housing grants, such as enhanced housing grant or proximity housing grant when you bought your flat, that money was credited to your CPF OA to help you purchase the home. Therefore, it is treated like CPF savings. The grant amount plus its accrued interest must also be refunded to your CPF account upon resale. And then another thing that we need to talk about is the direct cash deductions or the expenses. Beyond your loan and CPF, there are standard practical transaction costs involved in selling a home. These are usually deducted straight from the sales proceeds. Things such as property agent commission, legal and conveyancing fees, and also HDB admin fees. So about property agent commissions, market norms typically range between 1 to 2% of the selling price. If you use one of those agencies that use social media marketing and then make video for you, it could even be 3%, On a $1,600,000 flat, a 1% commission is already $6,000 and 2% commission is $12,000. So it's not a small amount. And this needs to be paid with cash. And then regarding the legal fees, if you hire HDB's legal team, this is highly subsidized and usually costs under $500. But if you are upgrading to private property or choose an external law firm, private legal fees generally range from $2,500 to $4,000 or even more. And then also don't forget about HDB admin fees, but this is not that much. A minor admin fee of $40 can be paid via the HDB resale portal, and this must be paid in cash. Maybe to make everything clear, let's use an example to make the numbers goes to life. To see how this works in real life, let's look at a realistic scenario for a family selling their 4-room HDB flat after finishing up their MOP. Let's say the selling price was $600,000. But as you know, if you own a flat in a mature town, you can actually sell for even more than this. This is just an example. I don't want to use $1 million as an example. Let's just use a conservative number lah. And then let's say we need to reduce the outstanding HDB loan, which is $180,000. This will be settled with the lender, whether you take HDB loan or bank loan. And then we also need to minus out the CPF refund, which is principal plus interest. Let's say the amount is $165,000, which will be returned back to your CPF ordinary account. And then let's say you use a typical agent and you need to pay commission of 1%. That would be $6,000 paid to your property agency. And then for legal fees, let's just assume it's $2,500 paid to the law firm or HDB. If we calculate all of these numbers, you will end up with net cash proceeds of $246,500, which will be deposited into your bank account. So in this scenario, you successfully unlock $411,500 in total usable wealth, which is where over $246,000 is in cash and $165,000 back in your CPF account. It is a fantastic financial position to be in, but it shows why looking at only the sticker price of $600,000 does not give you the full story of your actual bank balance at the end of the day. Now, if you want to know what are the situations that can leave you with a negative sales when you don't really get any cash at all and how to avoid it, check out my other video because I'm discussing the strategies there exclusive for members only. If you want to upgrade, actually there are two things that you need to note, because if you are planning to use your HDB profit to buy your next home, you need to think of two things. The first one is the buy first, sell later timing trap. If you commit to buying a new property, especially a private condo or a new launch, before your current HDB flat sale is fully completed, then your cash proceeds and CPF funds from the sale are still locked up. Purchasing a private residential property requires a minimum of 5% down payment strictly in cash, and another 20% can be in cash or CPF. You will need to make sure you have enough separate personal savings or look into short-term bridging loans to bridge that financial gap until your HDB cash drops into your account. And then another thing you need to consider is your age, because turning 55 changes the rules. If you are 55 years old or older when your HDB flat sale is finalized, the CPF refund process behaves slightly different. Instead of your refunded money goes straight back into your ordinary account, it will be first routed to your retirement account to fulfill your full retirement sum or FRS. Only the balance amount left over after topping up your FRS will remain in your ordinary account for housing use. It is a wonderful safety net for retirement peace of mind, but it is a crucial detail to your account if you are relying heavily on those funds to purchase another property. Now you might be wondering, so how to check your exact numbers? You don't have to guess or do complex manual math to figure out where you stand, and you don't even need like a property agent to advise you. You can just leverage the tools that the government already provide. So what you need to do is simply log into the CPF portal by using your SingPass and then check your home ownership dashboard. It will show you the exact real-time amount of CPF principal you have withdrawn so far, along with the accumulated accrued interest to the exact date. And then after that, you can use the HDB sale proceeds calculator. This is available on the official HDB resale portal, and this tool lets you input your estimated selling price and outstanding loan balance to give you an accurate, reliable breakdown of your future cash and CPF split. By taking a few minutes to look at your actual numbers can give you complete clarity, helping you to make confident and stress-free choice for your housing journey in the future. And again, if you want to avoid situation where you end up with a negative sales when selling your HDB flat, check out my other video because I will be discussing the strategy there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye. To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.